Hey guys, Old Guy Gaming here, back again with another MTG Arena video, and tonight we're going for an oldie but a goodie that is going to be red deck wins in War of the Spark Standard. So I've had a ton recently requests for more competitive decks. A lot of the decks I do, admittedly, are a little bit more kitchen table, a little bit more casual, a little bit more fun decks, have some capabilities of getting into winning you some games and doing really, really well, I'm not going to lie, but overall, they're not the top tier competitive decks. And red deck wins, red burn at least, in the last two metas has been kind of relegated to arena as a best of one winner. Like, it'll win you games, straight up will win you games. However, with War of the Spark and the addition of Chandra, Fire Artisan into the meta, it has bumped itself up to top tier potential deck because good, reliable card draw is something that helps keep red deck going, and that has definitely brought the deck to the forefront of the competitive meta. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the contents of the deck. I'm sure you may have seen something similar floating around Arena at this point, but of course, it's going to start off with the 4 Fanatical Firebrands, 1/1 with haste, and you can tap it to sacrifice it and give it 1 damage somewhere else. This will be some of your spectacle triggers, things like that, or sometimes just killing that annoying 1/1 that you just need to get off the board. Ghitu Lavarunner's 1/2s, and as long as there are 2 or more instants or sorceries in your graveyard, it becomes +1/+0 and has haste, so this is a great little turn 2, turn 3, 2/2 haste, jump in your face, and of course it is a Wizards and will trigger Wizards Lightning later on down the line. Shocks are shocks, kind of need them, absolutely staple in any red deck. Lightning Strike, also a staple of any red deck. I do miss the old lightning bolts, but we do have something similar here in this deck. Runaway Steam-Kins are 1/1s whenever they come out, and every time you cast a red spell, they get a +1/+1, and they put a +1/+1 counter on the Runaway Steam-Kin. You can remove 3 of those +1/+1 counters to add 3 red mana, so it's also an additional mana ramp as well. So this is a good card. I mean, it's kind of low in the price range as far as paper is concerned, but I still consider this one of the better cards in red. Viashino Pyromancers are common staples, again, of this deck. 2/1, and whenever it comes into play, it does 2 damage to any target player or planeswalker. A lot of people forget that planeswalker bit, and considering the meta that ran with War of the Spark, that is very relevant today. A card that I am surprised is still not been banned and still legal in Standard, the old Goblin Chainwhirler, 3/3 first strike, and whenever it enters the battlefield, it does 1 damage to each of your opponent's players, again, and planeswalkers in play. So you have 2 cards whenever they come into play, they're doing damage to planeswalkers. Probably why they're so relevant in the deck. You have 4 light up the stage. Normally you're going to be paying this for the spectacle cost, but it allows you to exile the top 2 cards of your library, and then you can cast this until the end of your next turn. 2 Skewer the Critics, which are basically old lightning bolts. All you have to do is some damage somewhere to the opponent to be able to get this off for 1 mana. 2 Wizard Lightnings, again, the old school lightning bolts. So, I mean, you can really kind of swap in between these two, one or the other. I lean more towards the Wizard Lightnings than the Skewer the Critics, but if it were me, I'd have both of these in here. However, we are having a slot filled up by a particular card, and that is Chandra. So for 4 mana for 4 loyalty Planeswalker, whenever 1 or more loyalty counters is removed for Chandra, i.e. somebody has done damage to her, or you're firing off her ultimate, it does 1 damage. She does that much damage to target player or planeswalker. So you could effectively pull off her ultimate, do 7 damage to your opponent, and then draw all 7 of those cards, which we'll get to here in a second. Her +1 is obviously exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn, so it's basically an additional card draw. If it's a land, you can play the land if you haven't played land, so you always want to do her first. But there are so many things that this adds in. This just adding that additional card draw speeds up red deck burn. Red decks usually run out of cards really early in their turn. Turn 4, turn 5, they're usually out of cards. So if they haven't killed you yet, then most likely they're going to lose. However, with her, she gives you the ability to just continue to get more cards. And of course, if you are lucky enough to pull off her ultimate, which hopefully we will tonight, exile the top 7 cards of your library, keeping in mind that does trigger her primary ability as well, and you may play those a turn. Basically, it refills your hand for a turn, which should be enough to win you the game. So let's go ahead and play some games with this one. I know, and a lot of people call me bad, call me evil, taking my step on the dark side here, but red deck, I hate to say, is one of my favorite deck archetypes. Has been around since the early days of Magic and has always been a thing. That is kind of Red's deal in Magic, is those direct damage spells, is being able to sit down and ping off little creatures, take everyone out, and just take you out in turn 2, turn 4. And if you don't have a counter or enough aggro to beat it, you are going to lose. board wipes, even board wipes, things like Kaya's Wrath, things like that are going to wipe all the creatures off the board. Doesn't affect you nearly as much because you've got enough spells in your hand to be able to do the direct damage and still kill your opponent. Fairly good hand. Some damage, some card draw, a couple of Steam-Kins. Yeah, let's keep that. Ooh, this might be a mirror match. If it is, we'll see a shock here shortly. Yep, I think he's recognized the fact. And of course, I went with the red card sleeves. So to broadcast the fact that... Oh, interesting. I think he meant to hit the Lavarunner unless he's got 2 shocks in hand. Oh, waste a lava coil on there? Interesting. Don't know if I'd have gone down that road. I think I might have shocked the Lavarunner and waited. Because if he's going to spend all of his... Okay. What do I want to go with? Chainwhirler will be so much fun right here. I need 1 more mana because Chainwhirler is going to trigger... Yeah, so I think I'm going to hold. I'm going to hold Chainwhirler so that I can get that to trigger Skewer the Critics because it hits him as well, and then I can take out the electrostatic field. Because this is a bit of an annoyance. I mean, it's a great addition to a red deck, but I think when Chandra came into the picture, this one kind of went away. It's a great card. Love it. It's just... In the modern red deck wins deck, it doesn't have a place. Gutter Snipe. This is a great deck. I love this. So we're going to go ahead and Chainwhirler. And then we're going to Skewer the Critics his electrostatic field. Sorry for hitting the mic. So unprofessional. And... yeah, let's go ahead and pull those off. We're going to cast the Viashino and get them all back up. And that's what this deck does. And then we'll light up the stage just for good measure. No, I think I'll hold on that. Because I'm just going to swing in with what I've got here. And now he's in some trouble. I have got quite a bit on the table. He's wishing he had that lava coil right now in his hand, I can tell you that. Lightning Strike me personally? Okay. Skewer the Critics, me personally? Okay, sounds good. Oh, do I want to go Chandra first? Let's go Chandra. No, I want to cast the Steam-Kin because if I don't want to lose the Steam-Kin here. Yeah, let's pull that off for 1 and pull her out. Get Chandra out. Might be able to pull off another spell if we get like a lightning strike or something. That would have been nice, but no, we did not.
It's you burning.
So he's got 10. There's 10 damage here. He's got to block with the Gutter Snipe or he's dead. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say like if he'd at least block with a Gutter Snipe, he'd at least have another turn at this, but. That's what this deck does, especially when you get those multiple Steam-Kins down and you're just building up all that mana and her ability. Ew. Scary. And she is really what's driving this deck to go to the top of the meta at this. We're not. I don't want to say top. Top's probably it's way too early to say top, but it's definitely a deck that people are playing. I myself am going. I think I have 1 Chandra in paper. I think I'm going to TCG player about 3 more because I have all the bits and pieces for the red deck already. Because oddly enough, people did not value red deck. So things like Chainwhirler are pretty low. The Steam-Kins are pretty low. Okay. Good stuff. I'll keep that. Another red deck. No, we shall hold. It's kind of an amateur move to be able to just burn. I mean, sure, could you have spent the shock on him? You could have against your opponent. You want to kind of save that mana for any creatures he puts down, like Steam-Kins, for example. Because you want those off the board. You don't want competing Steam-Kins. So here, we'll drop our own Steam-Kin. This ought to be interesting. This is going to be a good mirror match. I think we've had, what, now 2 mirror matches. Red deck win versus red deck win. Lava Coil. Interesting choice. I don't run the Lava Coils because it doesn't do damage to the face. That's the main reason why it's there. I think I'm going to... I'd love to have another shock just to get this above... I mean, if he wants to sit down and spend all his spells killing my creatures, that's fine. And that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to spend all of his burn spells attacking my creatures. So we'll do the same. And we will let that go. Arclight Phoenix. Interesting. No, sir, can't have it. So unless he has a good draw mechanic, that Arclight's going to sit there for a while. Because he needs to cast 3 spells to be able to pull that sucker out. Oh, Chandra. Give me something good, babe. Shock would have been nice. So if he decides he's going to attack Chandra with the Ghitu, Chandra will then kill... And that's not it. It's only target opponent or planeswalker. Yep, you can have that back.
Now you've done it.
Yep, you can have that back. So give me a card I can play with.
No problem fire can't solve.
Cast that. Let's draw some cards. Ooh. Let's Wizard Lightning his only creature. And let's light up the stage. Sure, let's do it again. Alright, so we're not going to get both Chainwhirlers, but we're going to get at least one. Very nice on the Arclight Phoenix.
It's over when I say it's over.
Oh, which one do I want to go with? As much as I hate to do it, I think I'm going to have to Chainwhirler here. Now he's into a pickle because he wasted all of his spells killing my creatures, and now he's down to maybe at max he does 6 damage here. And I'm going to do 7, 8, 9. And I've got lethal on board. So he is in a pickle at this point. He needs card draw is what he needs, and I haven't seen anything out of him for it. Yeah, nothing. Which is why if you're going to build a red deck, you definitely need the card draw. That is a must for any red deck. Come on, good sir. Whatever that card it has in his hand is not good enough to win. Maybe it's a lightning strike. He's thinking, I can kill the Chainwhirler. Okay. Yep, that's what he's going to go with. My suspicion is he's not going to attack here. We get all the Chandras.
It's my turn. Sit back and watch it burn.
Sure, Ghitu will work. So now he's in a position he's going to lose the Arclight. He's going to take 4. And unless he's got... A Chainwhirler would be super helpful here. Yep, nope. There's going to be a scoop. It's so dirty. I feel unclean. But it's a fun deck. I mean, I don't see it any different from... I never make fun of folks that really enjoy control decks. Like, if you're into the Esper control, you're into the... like, you know, Dimir control, those are your that's your play style. I don't knock that if that's how you like to play the game. Some people prefer the game of just burning. So like it's interesting to me to see the two dichotomy in the two lists where, oh, I don't get to do anything because you counter everything, or I don't get to do anything because I'm dead in 3 turns, kind of styles of Magic. And then you have the mid-range decks that are kind of in between those two. It's the check and balance. It's the rock, paper, scissors of Magic. You need to have that level of balance. Like a good aggro deck can probably beat me, and I can probably beat a good control deck before they get out of hand. Oh, no mana. This is a little concerning. Effectively, I only need 1 for there's so many good cards here. I'm going to keep it and see if I can eat my own words. I think I'm going to take... I hate doing it, taking a 1-land hand. You take it in the anticipation that you're going to get a second hand on the draw. And we shall say hello. It stinks as we have everything we want in our hand. I think I could have probably done without the Viashino, and another land would have been great. Ooh, this is going to be control. No land. Alright, we are in some trouble. Because this is going to be a control deck. And we're not going to be able to cast much of anything. They're going to board wipe. Yep. Augur of Bolus. How nice it would be to actually have another mana. Just to lightning strike that off the board. Yep. This should be fun. So we're going to get that a turn late. Might as well kill it now. He might not have the board wipes if he's running the augurs. He doesn't have the spell pierce in his hand, so something of ours is going down next turn. Let's go with the old Viashino. I mean, since I know he's going to be board wiping me as much as humanly possible, I think I'm going to hold off on some of the creatures right away. Primal Amulet. Nice. Very nice. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to hit him for the 2. We're going to light up the stage once. Hope for land, which we got. We got 2 of. And we're going to light up the stage one more time. Nothing but land. And we're going to go with a Ghitu Lavarunner. So now we have all the land we needed. I mean, it's a shame that it took that many... here we go. Search for Escanta. And Revitalize. So he is completely tapped down. So it makes me wonder if this is not the opportunity that we take to get Chandra down. And I think that's exactly what we're going to do.
You want to play with fire, huh? This is just going to be bad.
It's just more land that we're going to lose. I'm kind of okay with it. We have all the land we need now. Yeah, he flipped Escanta. Means he's got all the counter spells he wants. Augur of Bolus. Sure, he's got a lightning strike. He is running low on counter spells here. Or at least the ability to cast counter spells. Alright, what do you got for me, Chandra?
Sit back and watch it.
Shock works for me. So I've got what? So he does have a counter spell in his hand. So let's go with the attack first. So we're going to do the shock, which he's going to counter. Sure. Then we're going to get the Chainwhirler down. And then we're going to get to light up the stage and draw more cards. So he's going to have to cast that Lightning Strike. And that gets me one step closer to her ultimate. Presumably you'd like to keep her on the field? Come on, control deck. What do you got? Yeah, he's going to Lightning Strike here. That's fine. He hit... Yeah, he copied it from me. It's fine. He's down to 3 cards, one of which is going to Chemiker's Insight, so now he's down to just 2 tapped mana, period. So I'm going to assume, for the moment, that he's going to counter this. Or not. I'm going to go try to go with 1 Runaway Steam-Kin. Eight, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. If I ultimate her here, I have a potential for having lethal on the board. I don't know that it's worth it. Oh, nice. Very nice. Didn't see that one coming with the Banefire. Alright, if he hadn't pulled that one off, though, I think we had him. So I will give credit where credit's due. Good game to him. Alright, let's close out with a win. With red deck wins. That's what it's supposed to do. It's not supposed to lose. So, also, if you're interested in wanting to know what happened with the Grixis zombie deck, life got crazy. This, of course, I'm recording this on Mother's Day weekend. Mother's Day weekend also happens to be my birthday, my daughter's birthday, and Mother's Day weekend, all wrapped up into one. So, I was unable to get time along with Sean to be able to sit down and do this. So I think the next video, I'm going to try to do something during the course of the week with Sean to, if nothing else, worst case scenario, if I don't get any time with my friend Sean, I'll at least show the deck where it is right now, where I want it to be. And then we'll do a video with him looking at the deck, critiquing the deck, and playing against it and showing me where the flaws are, and then we'll have a final video on it to ultimately finish off the deck. This is a great hand, by the way, for red deck wins, because you go Lavarunner into Pyromancer into Chainwhirler. Oof. And then assuming I draw a land somewhere along the lines, Chandra on top of it. Ooh. We've got the Explore package going here. Yes, sir, you can have that. No, I'm a patient Redburn player. What's he got? What's he got? We know he's got at least another branch walker. That's where I thought we were gonna go. Ooh, sword. This should be interesting. I can probably just wipe out his entire board state here, and he's going to let me do it. Okay. Let's go in with this. My assumption is he's just going to let this happen. Like, he's just going to take the damage, which is fine, because then I'll Skewer the Critics his Branchwalker. And since I have the opportunity, I'll go ahead and light up the stage while I'm at it. Draw some cards. Ooh, another Chandra. Probably cast that one since he knows it's there. Midnight Reaper, good card. That's +1, or even if I'm getting rid of it. That's fine, I'm okay with that. Sure. Does damage to him. Yes, he gets to draw a card, but I'm okay with that. Sever the Scales. Cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw the card from Chandra first.
No problem. Fire can't solve.
Drop the land. Drop the Lightning Strike. Wait for the Afterlife to trigger. Deal all his 1/1s. Drop the Chainwhirler. This deck is so dirty. Sure, it's already done its damage. I'm fine with that. Growth Chamber Guardian, cool. So we're going to drop that. We'll go with Chandra. I should have hit her first before I dropped the land, because I could have gotten something crazy like that. I think I'm going to go ahead and hit him. Alright, I'll light up the stage then. Chainwhirler first. Light up the stage again. He could adapt this into a 4/4. I'd actually let that hit Chandra. Because I've got enough here to do the damage that I want to do. So it's probably what he's thinking. If he wants to do the 2 damage, sure. I don't know if he realizes that he's hurting himself in the process here.
Feel my pain.
So, I keep forgetting to drop the land second, because if I draw a land here...
Oh,
So, yes. So we're going to drop the Viashino. Yeah, I was going to say, it would have gone Viashino, Wizard's Lightning, Attack, Die. That's how that would have worked out. So, alright, I try to let these run around 30 minutes, so we'll try one more game. One more final game. That is my 10th win for the die. If you are a new player and you're trying to get into this game, trying to hit the minimum of this 10 wins to get this out is really where you want to go for your dailies, because you get the almost the maximum amount of gold. The rest of the wins from here that you get, I think there's 2 or 3 more, are only worth 25 gold, so they're really not worth the grind if you really don't want to. Hitting those 10 wins is really perfect. So we'll do one last game. That was ideal. That turned out this is what the deck is supposed to do. I mean, it really does have a lot of answers. Come on. Nobody wants to play with us. Reminds me of that character. Who was that? It's a cartoon character. Ah, nobody wants to play with me. Aha, we found someone. Ragnara. Ragnara. Again, assuming we get another mana, absolutely. The only decks that are really going to give us some problems, mono red green will eat you up for lunch. You can get in on them early, but as soon as they start getting their big green creatures and you don't have 1 spell or even sometimes 2 spells that can deal with other creatures, you're just kind of out of luck. And then mono white life gain, if you let them get ahead of you, and they're going to get their life gain early, they're going to get their Johnny's Pride Mates and things like that. You need to be able to nip those in the bud, otherwise you have the same problem that you have with mono green, in that their creatures are just so big you can't kill them. Oh, free turn. So this is what tempo is all about. They have a tapped land. I now have basically an extra turn ahead of them. Cool. This is where Chainwhirler shines. Yeah. I think I'll hold the Chainwhirler. And you have situations like that, where we will lightning strike it before it gets big. Goblin Chainwhirler into play. And we are off to the races. Let's just wipe that out right now. Yep. That's 5, 6, 7 damage, and then I had to light up the stage. They're probably not going to hit any of the burn spells, but so far ahead of him at that point. So I do hope you enjoyed the video. This is easily one of my favorite decks to play. Ooh, what do we get? What do we get? What do we get? Oh, elaborate fire cannon. Do hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe. It always does help out the channel. We really do appreciate it. And if you are so inclined, there is also a Patreon as well. That is patreon.com/oldguygamingmtga. And until next video, guys, we shall see you in the arena. This video was brought to you in no small part by our patrons. If you would like to help out the channel, go to www.patreon.com/oldguygamingmtga, and thank you for your support.